Okay, design elements of this space. So, big deal here. Um, Going to show exactly how we want this laid out on the inside. These images provided to the right, I wish I could say that I made them. They're gorgeous, but they're just images that we found from other renovations that best described how we really wanted our space to look, and I think they're very well done, and kind of help explain exactly what we're looking for this to look like, without being graphic designers ourselves. So, first, the image below shows how the track would be laid out in the arena down on the main floor, how the the other events would be laid out towards the center, and where, currently we don't utilize this floor space for that 100-yard stretch, because in that back corner there is sand pit throwing and things like that. That now we're utilizing that full stretch of space there, towards the top of my image, showing the full length around the outside of the uh, lane stretches. So at the end of that image as well, there's kind of a block box. We plan on adding a storage unit there towards the end, because we have indoor and outdoor facilities, and they will be moving, things such as pads and poles and things that we would not only use on the outdoor track during outdoor meets in the spring, but in this indoor track during meets in the winter. That way we're saving costs and we're not buying double the amount of equipment. That end cap there, on the middle right of the image, would you hold all of that. On the second layer, you can see above where the stands would be and where the seatbacks would be, and where athletes would be able to sit when waiting for their events. A little bit different in our space versus this image is that seating would be located on both sides. We have seating above, on both sides, that would have space for between 8 to 10,000 people to be in there. So, that really does cover more than enough space for athletes to sit with their teams instead of being spread out awkwardly throughout the building, how they normally are for other outdoor meets, since there's not really a good space for them to sit. And kind of keeps them all in one space, so they're able to watch the events going on, as well as wait for their event to come up. On the opposite side, you can have room for spectators, room for families coming in, or other people who want to come and see the events, or if the space is utilized for other things, since you can have floors overlaid, you have viewing from both sides. So the top image there, the locker rooms currently need to be gutted. They're outdated. They've got, pink and brown tile in them. So just giving them a facelift. And my idea for this actually was to be able to take two of the locker rooms that are side by side and combine them. So right now, on either side of the arena, there is a girls' bathroom and a boys' bathroom. So instead, just having one big girls' bathroom and locker room area, and one large boys' bathroom and locker room area. So knocking down the wall between, instead of having, four sets of bathrooms, being able to have two large ones. Because there's access into Linder and there's a bathroom super close for spectators to be able to utilize, this would help for just the use of the athletes themselves. So you can see where the locker room would be set up, where showers and toilets would be obviously added, but there's also meeting space. So there's also time before an event or before a meet for the team to get together and be able to sit. So that's important because you need to be able to meet with your team, and especially, home field advantage, having somewhere quiet that our team can sit in and meet with coach versus sitting out with all the other teams would give them a great opportunity to communicate. As well as if we're bringing in other teams from around the country, then they're able to utilize those locker rooms as well as visitor locker rooms versus using any of our home space at the University of Cincinnati. So, from there, the drastic changes that were mentioned on the slide before is the green space outside, and Audrey will talk about that here in some later slides. But sustainability measures and things that we're doing in that, and then kind of the guts that you're not going to be able to see, is the HVAC system, is getting that circulation going for the building, getting good breathable air, good warmer when it needs to be warm, colder when it needs to be cold, and getting things going. There is a really large garage door, so utilizing even spring air during that time, being able to have a system that shuts on and off, and opening that garage door, letting fresh air in and things is necessary, because right now the system that's in there just doesn't cut it. Normal ADA requirements, we'll make sure that there's area for handicaps to get in and out, that we are able to add an elevator into one of the stairwells. Currently, there are 6 stairwells within, 3 on either side. My thought process is that you would take out one of those stairwells and add elevator access to get up to the top level and be able to sit there in that back row. Other than that, making sure all safety concerns are done. Obviously, making sure that if there is asbestos or any material that is found hazardous within when we're rebuilding, since this originally was built in 1954, we're not sure if things are brought up to code, if electric's brought up to code, or even plumbing is brought up to code, since we haven't done much with it, especially in the last 30 years, just to ensure that everything is, is credible and the space is up to par, and again fitting with our goal of being the class of the league. The doorways will pretty much stay the same. There's a lot of different entrances in. There's 3 main entrances that can be used for travel teams or spectators, and then one kind of a entrance that's the one that connects to our Linder Center, where spectators will be able to go through to use those restrooms if they don't have access to the restrooms in the locker space. Or where, of course, our team can come in from their locker room space that they have there in Linder first floor and come up to the arena for practices and things like that. Like previously mentioned, again, the track that we decided we really wanted it to be UC colors instead of that typical track green and light red. We want to have that bold Bearcat red, as well as black surfaces throughout that are all restored and refinished.